Here's one of the latest interviews from Rock and Metal Revival. If you want to hear the whole show, go to rmrshow.com. Right there is Burning Rain, and Our Time is Gonna Come on Rock and Metal Revival. And, dude, I am so glad that we were introduced to this band a couple years ago.
I know. I wasn't sure when I first heard the album, when we had Doug.
When we had Doug Aldridge on.
Yeah, and he was like, this album grows on you. And he's right, man, because I got hooked and ended up having to go buy the other two albums that I had no idea were even out there.
And we are fortunate enough today to have lead vocalist of Burning Rain with us today, Keith St. John. Welcome to the show, Keith.
Hey, it's good to be here.
Keith, I see that actually with all the projects that Burning Rain's got going on, you guys got out and played some dates just not too long ago.
Yeah, we got lucky, and all of us had some free time in December this past. And, yeah, we got out there and we got a chance to dust off some Burning Rain tunes and hit some West Coast crowds in the U.S. So, yeah, it was a lot of fun and more to come.
Well, the one thing that I don't want to call it a super group, but you guys all have other projects that you work on, and it's got to be hard. When you guys going to find some time to get back into the studio?
Hopefully soon. We've been talking about it. Doug, as you know, is playing in a show in Las Vegas called Raiding the Rock Vault, and since that show just changed over its location, their time has been really scarce, but now that they're all settled in and the machine is kind of working, he can probably spend some more time in L.A., and by and large, I can spend some more time out in Vegas now because my schedule is kind of freed up more as of January. So hopefully we'll get in the studio by or before March and start cranking out this next Burning Rain 4th record.
So you did some singing with Montrose, too, huh?
Sure. Yeah, I met Ronnie Montrose back in 1999, if you can believe that. Wow. And when I met Ronnie, funny thing is I'm from the East Coast, so I really didn't have much knowledge of the whole Montrose legend and whatnot. And when I met Ronnie, we were writing tunes. We met as kind of songwriters, just writing our own stuff, and we wrote a whole bunch of stuff together, and it wasn't until I knew him for about a year that Scott Bourret, Steve Miller's manager, had come to him and said, if you want to go do all the hits, all the Montrose stuff from the old days, and you got a band, let's go do it. And so he asked me, and it kind of worked for my voice, and I just got sucked into this amazing world of Montrose, and just so lucky to know that guy for the rest of his time on the planet. We did that for about 14 years.
That's cool. Very cool.
That had to be very cool to go out there and do some of those classic Montrose songs like Rock Candy and Bad Motor Scooter. And I saw that they did a tribute show to him not too long ago. Were you involved in that?
I think there were a few tributes. The big one that got a lot of press was up in the city, up in San Francisco. I think that might be the one you're referring to. Yeah. And it was basically his memorial concert. And, yeah, I was a part of that. If you go on YouTube and do some searching around, you'll find some of the videos that were shot that night made it up there. And there's some good stuff of a lot of different people. Neil Sean came out and tributed Ronnie. The band Tesla came out. Nice. They got their start with Ronnie. He was kind of involved in getting them going. Tommy Thayer from Kiss. Of course, Sammy Hagar, all the original Montrose guys came out. Ricky Phillips from, Bad English, who's now in Styx. There's just tons of people. This list goes on and on.
Very cool. Now, another thing that I read the other day, Keith, is that you had spent some time in Lynch Mob. Now, tell us a little bit about your time playing with Lynch Mob.
Well, I played with Lynch Mob, and I played with, quote-unquote, George Lynch doing his own thing. I have to think back and think what was the first thing I did, live or recording, because I've done a lot of both with George. I believe the first call I got from George was asking me to fill in on some stuff that Oni couldn't make it to kind of last minute. And but we got going on that. And then after that, we had enough of a cool thing together, I think, that George was appreciating, that he called me to do some different recording with him. I did some stuff he had this project called Souls of We.
Mm-hmm.
I recorded a little stuff for that. I was recording some stuff with him and Jeff Pilson that some of it wound up, I believe, on the latest Lynch Mob stuff, and some of it might have wound up on the Lynch Pilson stuff. And then over time, you know, he's called me on a lot of spot gigs. We did Loud Park together in Japan, which is a huge heavy metal fest over in Japan at the Saitama Super Arena. And, you know, I've done a few, like, week or two Lynch Mob tours with him when he needed me kind of thing. Oh, and we did the Kill All Control record.
Oh, okay.
Which was a George Lynch solo thing. I think I did about 5 songs on that. And,
cool.
yeah, along with, I think Mark Tureen sang, and another guy that I can't think of his name sang a track or two. But, yeah, I love George. I mean, we got a cool vibe. We've done a lot of spot one-offs together, just kind of like, hey, Keith, you in town? I got this thing. You want to come do it? Kind of vibe, you know. So, which is a result of probably living in the same general vicinity, too. That helps.
That does help. And then, you know, back to Burning Rain now, you said that possibly getting into the studio in 2015. We live out here in the Midwest. Is there any possible way in hell that we're going to see Burning Rain anywhere near us?
You might, guys. What city are you in?
We are not far from Chicago. That would be the closest major market that you're talking about.
Or Milwaukee.
Yeah.
Right on. Well, you never know. I mean, we've done some one-offs. Not too long ago, we did one in Columbus, Ohio. We did something in Miami, Florida. You never know what city we're going to land up in, but I'd say there's a real good chance. Probably looking at, you know, that part of the country, probably looking at summertime, late spring, summer, early fall.
Yeah, you sure as hell don't want to be here in the winter.
Yeah, for sure.
No. No, and a band like us, you know, with where we're coming from and what we kind of market to, I think we'd probably be more of an outdoor festival band, you know, grouped in with, because, you know, obviously with the guys in the band, we got some affiliation with, you know, that whole 80s metal crowd.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, if we were on a bill with, say, several bands from that era, it might make more sense because the fans are there. They're excited to see us. We're kind of a rare find, and some promoters will see it as a big win to get us on there.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
Yeah. So, like you said, probably getting back this year, maybe a follow-up to Epic Obsession.
Well, yeah, absolutely. We've definitely built up, even for Epic. Dougie and I had built up material probably over 6-7 years of not doing a record. So we had this huge backlog, and I'd say maybe more than half of the tunes on Epic came out of some backlog, either riff ideas or full songs that were done, and you know maybe 30% of that was just fresh stuff that we banged out new. So the good news is even on the next record we'll probably already have, you know, a good 6-7 riffs and songs to kind of look at and pick from that we already like.
Nice. On the last album, there's not a lot of cowbell. You going to feature some cowbell on the next one?
You know what? There's a lot of shaker, but we kind of we like it to be subliminal.
Oh,
so, you know,
the
so
silent
the guys
cowbell.
can still get into it. Exactly.
Okay.
Subliminal cowbell. You know, the guys are, you know, they're trying to just headbang, but the hips are starting to move a little bit, and they don't know why. Honey, what's happening? Turn that off.
All right, Keith. Well, if people want to find out more about you and about Burning Rain, where's the best place to look for you on the internet?
You've got our website run by our Japanese faction of a fan base, burningrain.net, and that's got a lot of good information on it. You can always go to our Facebook stuff. It seems like, and our Twitter stuff. It seems like we update stuff pretty quickly on that stuff. Facebook, Keith St. John, Doug Aldridge, Sean McNabb, Matt Starr. That stuff all works out great. We are doing, you can look for us in Milan, Italy. It looks like we'll be doing a one-off festival out there in Italy that our record Frontiers is putting on April 11th. And we're going to sprinkle some dates around there in Europe, so you can see us in Europe. We did a rehearsal last night because we're doing a song at the John Bonham tribute at the NAMM Festival coming up next Thursday on the 22nd of January. I can't say what song it is, but we worked up a nice cut, let's say, off the Physical Graffiti album last night.
Very cool.
Over at Amp Rehearsal in North Hollywood. So
Nice.
you can see us there.
Cool.
Very cool. Well, we appreciate you taking time out to come on our show. And like we said, we're big supporters of Burning Rain. And we're going to play another track called Pray Out Loud for Love. You want to tell us a little bit about this song, Keith?
Yeah, bro, that song is just like a straight-ahead plow tune. Really turns me on. I know it turns everybody on. Kind of reminds me of an old Deep Purple thing with some new styles added on top of it. It's just a scorcher that it comes out of the gate hard and hopefully leaves you wanting more.
All right.
Check it out. Pray Out Loud for Love.
All right, Keith St. John, thank you for coming on Rock and Metal Revival.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for having me.
To catch the whole show of Rock and Metal Revival, all you have to do is check it out on these affiliates. Mega Rock Radios on Saturdays from 11 a.m. Eastern Time, on Rock 101 KLOL on Saturdays 11 p.m. Eastern, on Z-Rock 106.9 KKZR Sundays at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, and on Uncontrolled Noise Tuesdays at 1 a.m., Thursdays at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, and on Saturday nights at 7 p.m. Eastern on UncontrolledNoise.com. And make sure that you leave them a message and tell them that you found Rock and Metal Revival on their stations. Enjoy this edition of Rock and Metal Revival.